Hello everyone, this is Persephone and it has been over 24 hours ever since I posted the MSTO video where I asked the community, what do you guys do about sex? I mean, you don't want to go to prostitutes or pay cam girls or whatever, you don't want to get married to a nice girl like a homely girl, so what do you do? There was only one very brave guy, thank you for your comment, who told me I just watch porn. Which for me is again a way of sending money to the thought community, since every time you watch porn, even if it's in Pornhub and it's free porn, Pornhub pays everyone who posts content there. So at the end of the day, you go back to women. The rest got extremely triggered. I received a bunch of homophobic comments, of hate, of why do you try to shame us, and my conclusion personally is that the majority of the community is either gay or asexual or has sex in secret and hides it from the rest of the community. So because I like to always see the hidden opportunity, they inspired me to start a series that they're going to find very, very triggering, but I think it's going to be very, very beneficial for my woke audience, the men who are actually trying to understand and better their position as betas or pay pigs or just woke guys. I'm going to call the series the Doomed Bottom Feeder Beta Man's Inferno or Groundhog Day. And I'm going to explain to you why. The MGTO friends insulted me over and over by, or attempted to insult me at least, by saying that I have no financial knowledge or no plans and my vagina is all I have to offer. And when I'm going to be old, this is going to be like, either I'm going to be on the street homeless or I'm going to do granny cam girl porn at age 80. So, first of all, this is ridiculous, but before that, before you look at me and my financial choices, have you ever looked at how the average man lives? And even the average MGTO man? But I'm going to tell you something. Most of the men, the great majority of the men, that they actually tip cam girls or go to escorts or are incels, not only they are betas, they are repulsive betas. They have doomed themselves to the point that no woman will ever even look at them. And if she does, it's going to be some exploitative, narcissistic woman or toxic woman, the type that the MGTO tells you to avoid. How do you get to become repulsive by your own choices as a beta man? And what can you do to reverse that? The what can you do to reverse that is a very big conversation, so I'm going to break it down to a series of videos. Today, I'm just going to describe the symptoms of the disease, and if you find yourself in the lifestyle that I'm going to describe, it's time for a change. Okay, it's time for a change, or I can just start sipping cats to you because those are going to be your only companionship in your old lonely days. So let's start from the very beginning. The type of guy that I'm talking has a very, very specific appearance. Race is irrelevant, age is irrelevant. Could be from early 20s to late 60s. The appearance is, in one word, unkempt. A type of guy that doesn't love himself, doesn't take care of himself because probably no one taught him how to do that, and either he had a loser father or no father at all. The appearance ranges from just chubby to morbidly obese or skinny fat in an unhealthy way. Okay, definitely doesn't work out, has never heard of working out, and even worse, he can tell you that he hates working out, he hates all sports, or he's going to have some health problem as an excuse that prevents him from working out. My back is hurting, I'm allergic, all kinds of nonsense. And I say nonsense because there are types of exercise regardless of what problem you have. So anyway, this guy works some office job or some boring job or something that is unfulfilling spiritually for him. It's usually not creative at all. And worst out of all, it doesn't pay well. It pays him enough to be paycheck to paycheck, one case, or to have a bunch of money at the end of the month, but he lives in a first world country where his expenses are so high that he ends up being paycheck to paycheck. Or he is financially illiterate and he wastes his money. The most men that I've seen that they are the last category, like men that they could have built a fortune but they are dumb as fuck because no one taught them, come from for some weird reason from Canada. Literally, the guys that I know from Canada, that they message me, they usually shower me with money, they're the most boring men in the world, and they do the most boring jobs in the world. And they constantly whine that they don't have money. I'm not saying that everyone in Canada is this way, I'm just saying that 100% of the Canadians who contact me are this way. And if you ask them, they start saying, oh, but I have my truck to pay, oh, but I have my cable to pay, oh, but I have this and that to pay. And at the end of the day, they're broke as a joke. So what happens in this case is that the said man has a routine that is what I call Groundhog's Day from the very, very old movie where the day repeats itself. He gets up, he goes to work, he comes back, he eats junk food, he drinks junk, and he zones out. And if he's horny, he's either masturbating to porn to the point that he has a death grip, or he's tipping cam girls, or the most, bold of the type, go to meet escorts. There is a subtype that has a wife who is the definition of what the red pill tells you to avoid, like definitely post-wall, definitely fat, definitely not supportive, usually cheating on him or just ignoring him. So this guy, he is constantly bitching and complaining about how difficult his life is, yet he does nothing to change it. Absolutely nothing. These are the guys, I'm going to refer to the guys from camp shows, but there could be from anywhere else. I get emails from this type all the time. This guy is usually very beta. He never developed good game with women. He could be from decent looking to the Gollum's best friend. But I'm going to just, for the sake of the video, stick with average looking, okay? Like a guy that you would see on the street and you wouldn't remember him. You wouldn't just gaze at him while your panties get wet, but you wouldn't call the police either, okay? Average looking. So this guy goes to campsites to talk to girls, and hopefully he wants to find a girlfriend there. Or he goes to bars or clubs or all the usual, just get out more brain Ebola. And then he doesn't know what the hell is going on, and women find him repulsive and avoid him. Or cam girls and other goddesses just rip him off. Here is what happens. I'm going to give you top secret inside information now. First of all, those guys are boring as fuck. Like, you come to talk to me, I have a guy like that. Let's call him Mr. X, okay, because I don't want to invade his privacy. Mr. X comes to me and he says, hey, hi, how are you? Almost every day, because he has bought all of my exclusive crap, like exclusive Skype, exclusive Snapchat, exclusive this, exclusive that. If I sell it, he has bought. Here's what the problem is. He says, hi, how are you? I'm saying, I'm fine, how about you? He's either at work or going to work or coming back from work, and he hates his job. So all the conversation with him is whining about how bad he has it. Or he's at home and he wants to just relax, which is zone out and watch TV or watch internet series, which makes him very boring for me. Even if this guy was a 10 out of 10, like, I don't know, gigachat, model, whatever, I would never even look at him because the boredom would kill me. Thing number two is that the series that he's watching are reruns of old series like Monk, Friends, and other stuff that no one gives a fuck about. We are on 2019 and he's watching crap from 1995, and he's rewatching the same shit over and over and never watching anything new. If you are a beta guy and you want to find a girlfriend, you have to understand this. You can't be insanely boring. How do you know you're insanely boring? That something that you're interested in, no one else is interested in, or your friend who's also an incel is the only person interested in that. You have to be on the current reality. That doesn't mean that you have to be a vagina and adopt female interests, but you have to have something to talk about. So let's go back to Mr. X. When the weekend comes, Mr. X either is going to meet his friends, the other fat losers, or he's going to sit at home and watch those series and catch up on sleep and laundry. And I'm just the type of person that sits there thinking, like, should I say something? Every time I try to say something that, why don't you find a girlfriend in real life, or why don't you try to get a bit out of your comfort zone, he gets extremely butthurt. And he's like, oh, women don't like me, women are just too materialistic, they're the same everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, are the women the problem, or is it you the problem? Because, you know, I'm always telling to guys, volunteer somewhere, go to an animal shelter, go to an old people's, like, senior home and spend some time. The women there are usually quality women. They're women who have to offer time, they usually have money, that's why they volunteer, they're quality people. If you just go to campsites or porn sites or bars with the sluts who want to get drunk and hit on child, then you can't say that it's the women. It's you in the wrong place. So every time I'm suggesting to this guy something to do, he doesn't want to do it. Another problem about him is that he's fat, he has a variety of health problems, and he eats frozen pizza and other frozen junk foods that he microwaves. And if you tell him, why don't you learn to cook, he doesn't want to learn. He says it's too hard and it's too much trouble. I have even offered him to help him to learn how to cook. Not because I actually became so altruistic, but because since we have nothing to talk about, we might as well just open Skype and do something creative, cooking is creative. He doesn't want to do that. He would rather eat junk food and be fat and then complain that, by the way, he's 29, he has high blood pressure, he has high blood sugar, he has a bunch of high stuff. His dick has erectile dysfunction more than half of the times. By the way, I've never seen his dick because he's dick conscious, another turn off. And this repeats itself for over 6 months now. It's an eternal Groundhog Day. And the main reason that he pays me is that he wants someone to talk about something, and most of the time I have to entertain him with stories. So this type of person will never get a girlfriend. Not because he's the ugliest, not because he's broke, because he's boring and he has an atrocious personality. Can you imagine living with a person like that and having to be their entertainer 24/7? I always say that cam girls and cam boys are like digital geishas in a way. You have to have the conversation going, but the other person has to give you something to work with. So if you are in this situation, you're dooming yourself. Months will turn into years, and before you know it, you're going to be 55, still living paycheck to paycheck, your health is going to be ruined, your dick is not going to be working, and you will die and be found 10 days later from the stands. I'm sorry that I bring the bad news, but this is it. So I'm going to ask you, am I the financially illiterate person here, or all of those men? Because I heard so many misogynistic comments that women don't understand finances, that women are just stupid, and your pussy is all you have to offer. I'm saving a lot of the money I make, and I'm investing a lot of the money I make. And by investing, I don't mean only in smart things financially, I mean on myself. Even now, I'm studying, I'm learning foreign languages, I plan to buy property, I do so much stuff. This guy, who could be saving his money to go to therapy, which is what he needs, he's wasting them on cam girls, on pizza, on video games, and on buying original reruns of series and other shit, and video games and other shit that, for me, if you're 29 and video games is your main hobby, you have arrested development and you need a psychiatrist. Okay, here it is, I said it, the cat is out of the bag. Most women, unless they are gamer girls, they wouldn't give a fuck about video games. So it's time to take an objective look at yourself and at your situation before it is too late. Because I'm really sick of all of those smart asses telling me that cam girls are financially literate. Really? So I'm going to ask you something. I'm the financially literate that I'm going to take that money and save it and then invest it somewhere, or the dudes who are going to cam girls to live the fantasy, or who are going to goddesses to live the fantasy, and at the end of the day they're broke as a joke, and then they say, oh, but I have to work, but I have no money, because you threw it all away on internet thoughts, you moron. That's why you have no money. That being said, like I've said on the previous video about cam girls, if you're going through a stage that you need the cam girls, like you want to talk to cute girls to have fun and you have extra money, or you're going through a transitional period like a breakup or a divorce and you want female companionship without having to go out, or you feel that you're inexperienced and you lack social skills and you can talk to them without actually being exposed, all those are fine. Do you know what's not fine? I have another guy who is minus 4,000 in one credit card because he tipped too many cam girls. And if you ask him, what did you get from that? He got nothing. He just said, oh, I like making women smile, and he lives in a trailer house. He makes 6,000 to 7,000 per month, and he lives in a trailer house because his money go to cam girls, to expensive alcohol, to his mom who's ripping him off, to a bunch of other stuff. 32 years old. Also will never go anywhere in life. So I'm saying this, that this type of guy at the end of the day, he is too destroyed to meet a normal woman. Even if his soulmate, his twin flame girl, showed him in his doorstep, he would be too fat, his dick would be limp, his wallet would be empty, and he would have nothing to talk about. So instead of blaming the universe or the government or the aliens or our bad luck or the amazing comment that I got that all women turn to Satan, So that's why the guy single who told me that. Let's start by the person who is at least part of the problem, the beta guy himself. So if you are in this situation and you're watching my channel right now, this is a sign that the universe sent you that it's time for a change. You need to transform yourself from the bottom feeder beta to a top tier beta provider. You need to run insanely good beta provider game, okay? And you can land a wife that she could be a supermodel. She could be an amazing person. And just don't give a fuck about all the red pillars and all the MZO crypto gays who are going to tell you that she rode many cocks and she has someone else's kids and all of that stuff. I'm saying this because I live in the real world, and if your dick is 2 inches, you should remove yourself from the gene pool. If you are 3 feet tall, you should remove yourself from the gene pool. If you have debilitating mental illnesses like schizophrenia in your family, you should remove yourself from the gene pool. That being said, you don't have to die some crazy hermit in the mountains. You can enjoy everything that life has to offer: companionship, affection, raising children that the woman had with someone else with better genetics than you, being cared for, having a family until up to your deathbed, and so on. This is possible for you. But it can't be possible if you are in the situation I just described. Okay, it can't. Especially the older women get, or if you are decent looking and you want to have kids, no woman is going to seriously consider as a partner a guy with minus 4,000 in a credit card because he tipped cam girls, or a guy who's up to his eyeballs in bills for stupid shit, or a guy living in a trailer with his mom. No one. You are doomed to die alone. You are inside the hole and you dig yourself deeper and deeper and deeper in that hole every day. So you'll be in China. Don't blame me. Okay, if you're white and you end up in China, that's fine. If you're white and you're watching me and you are an incel, make some decent money and transition into white sex god in China. That's a choice. If you are not white, or even worse, if you're Asian, which is the most undesirable race according to OkCupid and other statistics, you have to start taking notes right now, okay? I'm just saying this because it's not going to get any better, you're not getting any younger, you're getting fatter, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and what's going to happen to you? I have people who told me that I asked them, play the tape forward. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, where are you going to be? And I traumatized them because their future seemed bleak. The thing is, I'm not the one bringing the elephant in a room. I'm the one pointing him out. It's not my fault if your future looks like a gigantic pile of horse shit. It's your own choices that led you to this point. So don't send me hate comments because I'm saying that you will die alone if you look like those guys. Or even if you send them, like I said, I have set a new amazing system on YouTube that blocks comments that contain specific words. So if the words are transsexual, kill yourself, you have a dick, and so on, you're going to end up in spam where you belong, okay? I don't care. And they consider someone who hates transsexuals a crypto homosexual, okay? And if you ask me what's a crypto homosexual to finish this video, it's my own invented term. Crypto homosexual is someone who is a homosexual. He's semi-aware of that because he's watching transsexual porn when no one is looking. And he thinks that no one knows that he has homosexual tendencies. But guess what? We can tell he does. There is no bigger homophobe than the closeted homosexual. So if you're extremely triggered and you say that I look trans, it's because it tears you on deep down and you hate it and you take it out on me. If you don't like trans people, you don't have to look at them. I'm not trans, but I have no problem whatsoever with trans people. I have no problem whatsoever with lesbians because I'm not triggered. I'm not insecure about my sexuality. You are if you need to say tranny this, tranny that all day in the comment section. So this is the first part of this video. I'm going to turn it into a series, and in every video I'm going to be telling you what steps to take to transform to a top tier beta provider. Because if you are beta, that's your best shot in life. And there is nothing wrong with being beta at all. Society has demonized betas, while betas are the ones who are advancing humanity for thousands of years and raising families and doing what needs to be done. So you don't have to abide to what society says and feel worthless or waste your life trying to become alpha when you will never be alpha. There are people who are born alpha. And there are people who were supposed to be alpha that they had a shitty mother and they ended up with a beta mentality. That's also fine. For me, this is the easiest category to work with because if you have alpha looks but beta mentality, it's much easier to advance in life and run amazing beta provider game. compared to someone who is 3 feet tall, his penis is 2 inches, and he's with his mom at the trailer. Thank you for watching.